right, everybody, welcome back to the Sideshow. My name is Mingo.
This is Tony.
And, sorry we weren't able to make it last week. Had a little, not a hiccup.
It was kind of a hiccup.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, hiccup with some fluid coming out of it.
Oh. Well, as long as it's coming out the right side, we're good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Front, not back.
Because I went to Chicago on early Wednesday morning, and Tuesday afternoon when I got home from work, when we were supposed to record, my stomach was still tossing and turning, and I was on the toilet again, throwing up.
But yet you still went to Chicago, right?
Yeah, when I went to the urgent care that Wednesday, before the Sunday that I went to the emergency room,
Okay. Jesus.
they actually gave me medication for nausea so I wouldn't throw up.
Okay.
And I'll be honest with you, to me, I didn't know if I was throwing up because I just felt so full.
Okay.
Does that count? Does that mean I have nausea? Because isn't nausea like, I'm full, I ate something bad, or I smell something funny?
Nausea is just the feeling like you're gonna vomit. Nausea is just like you're just ready to throw up.
So
You're nauseated.
Because I honestly didn't think these pills would work.
What'd they give you?
I don't know what they're
You don't
called.
remember?
No. But there were two different ones. And so my idea was, you know what? Let me save them for Chicago. Because
Okay.
it's not like they gave me a bunch. And sure enough, dude, when I was in Chicago, I never threw up. Took
Wait.
one in the morning and took one in the late afternoon.
When my kids were, when my ex-wife was pregnant with the kids, she was throwing up every day, a couple times a day. And she had nausea real bad, morning sickness. And she went to the doctor and said, take a half a Dramamine
Okay.
and a vitamin B, I think is what it was. And she did that and stopped throwing up altogether.
Really?
Yep.
She had to take it every day?
I think it was like every other day or just when
wow.
she felt it, but that kept it at bay.
I'm not going to lie, dude. I was so nervous for the plane ride.
Oh, I bet. Now they weren't afraid that would, because you're in a vacuum tube basically, right?
Right.
That it I would assume that I would somehow mess with your hernia, not your.
It's not like I told them I was going or anything.
So you could have, and your doctor knew you were going to fly though, because they gave you the
No.
medication, right?
No, she just gave me that medication because I was throwing up.
Oh shit!
So I was good. But like I said, I mean, I still didn't really go potty out there, even though I was eating a lot. I wouldn't say I was eating a lot.
When he says potty, he doesn't mean like he means going to the bathroom. He wasn't saying party with an accent.
So yeah, and I guess it worked because I didn't even feel like throwing up once when I was out there. I played both plane rides and everything.
And now that you've been, how long have you been back?
Funny thing is, I came back Sunday late afternoon.
Huh?
I didn't take the pill. I took it Sunday.
Okay.
'Cause my wife and I went out to eat when we got in. And then Monday, I decided, you know what, I'm good. It's one of those things, you take the medication, you think you're good. You take yourself off of it because I'm good.
Right.
Sure enough, Monday, I'm throwing up.
Wow.
It wasn't bad, though, but it was still, I was just full. I went to the doctor yesterday. And
Well, wait. So, hold on. Have you shit since then? Because I know that was part of the problem, too, was like...
Since
so,
when?
So while you were gone, did you shit? You said you didn't potty much out there, right?
Yeah, not much. Nothing to write home about.
And then you came back. So how long? You were gone 3 days, 4 days?
Wednesday to Sunday. 5 days.
5 days? So 5 days, very little shitting.
Very little.
But were able to eat because you weren't nauseous.
Correct.
So then you came back and you were full and decided, I'm not going to take the medicine anymore. Became nauseous.
Yeah.
So you weren't eating, but you were still full from the 5 days prior.
No, I was eating.
Okay.
I wasn't eating like I could, or I used to.
Okay.
Well, I shouldn't even say that because I've been really cutting back a lot on my eating, to be honest with you.
Okay.
As far as when I sit down, it's not like if I sit down to have whatever it is, steak dinner,
Right.
I'm eating a third of the steak.
Wow.
Don't get me wrong. Again, I'll crush the pizza, but just everything else, it's
And it's a good thing you don't like Chicago pizza, because then it wasn't like you were like, we got to go, I got to have pizza.
Yeah, but I did find a couple New York style pizza spots out there.
Yeah, they were good?
I lost the vote on going to them.
Really?
Yeah, but Saturday night we went to one spot, and one place was actually said New York style pizza.
Okay.
The other ones are they just said thin crust, meaning New York, what we're used to.
Right.
So we went to a thin crust spot because it was more like a bar atmosphere.
Then
Yeah,
okay.
and they had other items that my wife and son could have. Because my daughter left on Saturday, we left on Sunday.
Okay.
Well,
so does your daughter eat more like you?
no, none of them like no. They all eat like their mother.
Okay.
They like to try things. They'll crush like me, but they're willing to expand their horizons.
I got it. So are you still with it? Are you still expanding, or are you just kind of like, nah? If I can't eat like I used to, then we're just gonna stick to what I'm used to.
Yeah, I think I'm there.
Yeah.
That's about where I'm at.
Jesus criminy. We got to get you back to good, dude. There's shit you got to try out.
I know, right? Now I'm willing to try it out.
So how are you feeling now? Better?
I'm feeling better because I did go potty twice yesterday,
Oh, nice.
and they were pretty nice.
And yesterday you went to the doctor.
Yes. And
And
that's
so-
what sucked because I went potty in the morning, and so one of the questions, he says, okay, well, when's the last time you had a bowel movement? And I was like, this morning. He's like, oh, okay, that's good. I'm like, yeah, but for the last month, I really haven't been going.
Wow.
So it's he says there's a couple things that could be going on with me, and they have to run more tests, of course. Now we're back to square one in a sense. But he did say, because I've never really been regular. Like I never went every day.
Okay.
I was every other day, maybe even every third day. That was my regularity.
Okay.
So he says, out of the few things that he told me that's wrong with me, he did say one thing is, I don't know if this is the technical term, and I'll say it's not, but he called it lazy stomach.
Okay.
It's an actual thing. He says your stomach just doesn't digest like it's supposed to, like a lot of other people.
Right.
Your stomach becomes lazy. It just takes a lot longer for things to go on. He thinks that's one of the things that I might have.
All right.
But I have to do a GI tract imaging, and I have to do that in the middle of June. That's the first time that's the first appointment available. Apparently, I drink something, and I stand in front of maybe like a imaging machine, and it's gonna follow that liquid, go through where it's gonna go through.
So you drink that iodine with the.
I hope that's that,
fluid
'cause that's gonna be
iodine or
nasty.
whatever, right?
I don't know what it is, but now that you mention iodine, that kind of sounds like it might be something along those lines.
I heard it was not very.
Oh, you've heard of this before?
Yeah. I've heard of having to drink something to follow it.
Okay.
But doesn't it takes like 20 minutes to get to your stomach, though, doesn't it? Something like that?
That I don't know.
So you'll be standing in front of that, you can be exposed to gamma rays. You come out that bitch like Godzilla and shit.
And another thing is, because I've been throwing up for the last month, I really haven't been eating. So because I really haven't been eating, I really haven't been going to the bathroom. So it's all this,
Yeah, one besets the other.
yeah. But it still doesn't, and this is why he wants to do the GI tracking, is because, let's say I haven't eaten all day, me taking a couple bites of something for dinner shouldn't make me feel full all of a sudden and throw up.
But he knows about the I was gonna say hemorrhoid. He knows about the what's it called?
The
Not thyroid, not hemorrhoid, the
hernia.
hernia. There you go.
But apparently I've had it for a while.
Really?
They've always known about it.
They've always known about it?
Yeah. Like, I had it since I was going for the last couple of years. So, my wife even said, I think they already know that you have that. And I was like, yeah, I don't remember. It's funny how I don't retain any of these things that's going on with me medically. It's almost like I don't want to know,
Right.
so I don't bother to retain it.
So you're surprised every time you go to the doctor? Fuck, really?
Well, he's telling me, he's reading off like the medications I've taken or I have been on,
Right.
and I'm like, yeah, I don't know what that. He goes, you had this ointment for a rash? I'm like, yeah, I don't remember that. He's like, yeah, this was just like 3 years ago. I was like, yeah, I don't know. And he's telling me these medications that I've been taking. I'm like, yeah, I don't take that anymore. I don't even know what it is. I don't even remember it.
Wow, Tony.
But he did put me on some stuff to kind of make me have bowel movements. And they're all natural, quote unquote natural.
Like a stool softener?
Not a softener, more of a...
More of an X-Lax, more of a mover.
Yeah, mover. More of a mover. Because when he was telling me, he's like, I could send you to Clark's to get, Clark's Nutrition
Right.
to have you pick up some stuff. And I was like, all right, cool, I can do that. And so as he's telling me, I'm like, isn't this something like Metamucil? He's like, yeah, it's pretty much like that, but it's more natural. And I was like,
So
okay.
like fiber supplements.
Yeah.
Because you don't eat much fiber, right?
No. Is there fiber in chocolate cake? Chocolate chip cookies? Ice cream?
There's
No.
fiber in anything you want it to be in. If yeah, I got fiber. No.
So
Yeah,
he,
no.
he just said Metamucil is like that, but apparently Metamucil has like a lot of sugar, stuff like that. He's like, I don't recommend it because they make it taste better with
Right.
like making it taste like oranges, stuff like that. And so he sends me with the list to go to Clark's. Right, there's 4 things on the list. He tells me to get the first 3.
Okay.
A magnesium pill.
Okay, that makes sense.
It does.
Yeah.
2 other items. I don't remember what they are. Okay. And then he says the 4th thing is called sweet movement tea or something like that. He goes, I don't want you to take that. If the first 3 don't work within a week, like if you don't start going regularly, like within a week, then I'm gonna go to and they sell it anywhere. It's called like sweet. I just remember sweet tea, but I think it's like sweet movement tea, something like that. And that sounds like it's gonna make me really clean me out.
Yeah.
But I wish they would have given me that to begin with when I went to urgent care and all that kind of good stuff. Especially if it's over the counter. Come on, kid.
Yeah, because if it's all natural, then you know what I mean. They're not gonna prescribe that or tell you about it. How do we make money?
Yeah. Have you ever been to Clark's?
No.
Dog. I was in this store for probably a half an hour before I realized I need help. This place is like a Walmart. What do they call that? The small grocery stores?
Right.
Neighborhood store.
Okay.
So it's that big. But it's just all this natural...
Just all supplements. and
Oh,
shit.
my goodness, kid. This place is crazy. One of the products I had to get, according to the packaging, by the looks of the packaging, bro, it looks like hay.
Like hay?
Yeah. Like dead grass that was cut with a weed whacker. I haven't opened it yet. But I'm supposed to drink that like before bed every night.
Like with a tea? Make a tea out of it?
Yeah, something along those lines. It looks nasty though, bro. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to hang. But dog, people were grocery shopping up in this thing.
You have groceries there too?
They had like fruits and vegetables. I guess everything's organic, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Dude in front of me had non-dairy ice creams, like pints, like different flavors.
Oh shit.
And dude, the place was busy.
Yeah, they're
Dog, I figured like tree huggers and stuff were the only ones that, going in there. Place
So-
was busy. And the dude, like I saw grocery shopping, I have to give it to him because he was fit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, obviously it works for him.
right.
It's just like, damn. If I look like that, I'd probably go shopping here too. That's what it took.
So we have a. When I was a kid, my mom didn't work or anything, so every once in a while she'd pick up a gig taking care of people's kids or whatever, right? And there was this lady, and I won't say her name, and I won't say the girl's name, but she was this little white girl, and her mother was into. Do you remember Amway?
Yeah.
So Amway was fucking huge back when we were, growing up. Like that was. If you've never heard of Amway, it was kind of like. So now there's a company that does a online version, basically, of Amway, where you build your own store online and send people to buy products from your store online. Well, Amway used to be like catalogs, and it was usually sold hand in hand with Avon, if I remember correctly. So this lady used to sell Amway, and she'd come drop her kid off, and they gave that kid, I don't know how many fucking vitamins in the morning before they drop her off, because she smelled like a vitamin bottle. Have you ever smelled of like
Yeah.
and that like all natural like plastic and powdered health smell? I
Right,
guess.
yeah.
That's what that little girl smelled like, because she took so many fucking vitamins. And I remember I had my ex-wife, here, you need to start taking these vitamins. And for some reason, I opened it and I smelt it. And I at first it was kind of like, because it's so strong. And then I just fucking started laughing because all I did was remember that little girl as a kid, that's what she's in a bottle now. I never understood but yeah, dude. And people are way into vitamins and way into supplements, and they know that, okay, well, if I take so there's like, I think there are like 8 different types of magnesium or some shit like that.
Yes.
And magnesium is not easily digested and infused into the body, so sometimes you have to take magnesium with something else, with some sort of magnesium diuretic to help it be consumed by the bottle or by the body, or you have to take something else along with it that helps it to dilute itself into the body. Like it becomes a chess game of vitamins to figure out what works with each other, because apparently vitamin D is not easily absorbed by the body, and neither is magnesium. So you have to figure out which one works for you.
I mean, I've heard of the word magnesium in the past,
Right?
but if you would have asked me what is it, I'd have been like, I don't know. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know it was. Could be a fucking laser. I don't know what it is. You know what I'm saying? So for you to say that makes sense, I was like, holy shit, Mingo, you pretty smart then. What is it?
I don't know. Okay, so magnesium, I've always thought was, growing up, people that did lead or people that did, you worked on cars and shit like that, would weld. I always thought magnesium was like aluminum, like a metal.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's kind of in line with iron, like iron, magnesium, blah, 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 blah. If that's a certain kind of iron that you need in your body, or if I'm way off base with what fucking magnesium is.
Okay, so time out. So you said that makes sense.
Correct.
How does it make sense? You just trying to act smart.
No, well, that could be it too. I'm not gonna lie, because I'm not gonna. I front like a motherfucker, dude. I look.
You just did.
I'm trying to tell you.
They have you take magnesium. Oh, that sounds about right. Oh shit, what is it? I don't know.
Well, I wasn't expecting you to ask me. That's why I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
But bro, if you go down in the grocery store, if you go down the aisle that has all the medications, liquids, tablets, aspirins, whatever, Clark's, half the stores, the aisles are like that.
Now listen, I was half right. Okay. Magnesium is a chemical element. It has a symbol of Mg and the atomic number of 12. It is a shiny gray metal having a low density, low melting point, and high chemical reactivity. Like other alkaline earth metals, it occurs naturally only in combination with other elements, and it's almost always has an oxidation state of 2 to 1.
Okay, so far you haven't gotten to the point where you're right. Halfway right.
What are you talking about? I said it was a metal. That's the first thing it said. It should have just said Mingo is right. Do not question Mingo.
If I swallowed a penny, you'd be like, yeah, that's a metal.
Yeah, that's copper. That's a different kind. That's on a whole different. That's on a different side of the chart, bro. There's nowhere near 12.
So you're gonna sit here and tell me the only thing you got right is the fact that it's a metal? Has nothing to do with me using my digestive system.
No, because there are magnesium salts.
Dog.
So it's in everything.
Okay.
That's why I'm saying that it's a metal, but it's.
You ain't fooling nobody no more. I just pulled back the curtain on your ass.
I've been telling you that since the get-go. Here's the thing. Here's what's funny, dude, that you say that because we've said, oh, we're a jack of all trades, a master of none. I know a little bit about a lot of things, but I don't know a lot of things about a lot of things. Right. And the thing is that my dad was kind of like that, where he didn't fucking know exactly all the time, but somehow it was almost like he was smart enough to add 2 and 2 and make 4. Does that make sense? So like you could tell him something, and he might know a little bit about magnesium. Well, I know that that's a metal, but it's also in bananas, so it can't be.
That's potassium.
It's also got magnesium. Why would I lie to you, Tony? Especially now. You leave my motherfucking curtain alone, okay? Because then you got, but there's different kinds of magnesium. You got citrate, and you got magnanate, and all kinds of shit. So I don't know. Because isn't that why they tell you not to eat too many bananas, because of the magnesium? And you shouldn't eat bananas and strawberries together because they don't digest well together.
I've never heard of this.
No?
Never. I don't know. I think you're making stuff up now.
I just, they're just, it's like Inspector Clouseau or fucking Sherlock Holmes. It's deductive reasoning, how I come up with shit sometimes. We'll just leave it at that. Well, it's kind of like that day when we did the podcast with Whiskey Glass that one time, and he said, "How do I empty a fiberglass pool?" I said, "Well, you got to empty it from the bottom and fill it from the top." Wasn't that how you empty every fucking pool? Empty it from the bottom, and all the soot and all the shit in the water drops to the bottom anyway, so that's what's dirty. And you put the hose on the top, or your filler nozzles towards the top of the pool anyway, so that's where you're going to fucking fill it from. I'm not a genius. You empty it from the bottom and you fill it from the fucking top, right?
Right. I don't remember this conversation, but okay.
Because we were talking about what kind of pool I had, and then I believe Rob said something about having a fiberglass pool, and that he couldn't empty it because it would pop it out of the ground.
Right. Okay.
So he says, but I don't know how to empty it and fill it at the same time. I said, well, Rob, it's simple, dude. You empty it from the bottom and you fill it from the top. And everybody in that fucking, what? I said, well, yeah, because, everything's going to come out from the bottom when you throw your pump down there, and it's going to, deductive reasoning, it made sense. Everything goes to the bottom. That's That's where it's dirty at, right? And it's going to suck it all down anyways. If you put the pump down there, it's going to suck all the dirt and all the soot and all the bullshit you need out of it while you're filling it from the top.
Yeah, no. That's not how it works, kid.
How does that not work?
Because the point of draining the pool is because the water itself is bad.
Right.
So you don't have bad water on the bottom and good water at the top.
But can you fill it from the bottom?
No. Well, yeah, you
How?
can. You just put a hose all the way down to the bottom. A water hose.
You're still filling it from the top.
That's just, how's that?
Well, you don't put the hose through the bottom of the glass, or you don't put the hose in the bottom of the pool.
But the actual water that's entering the pool is at the bottom.
But you're filling it from the top.
But you're draining it from the top too, because the water's got to come up and over.
No, because the water is going into the pump from the bottom of the pool.
But it's going over the pool, over the top.
Correct, but it's entering the exit from the bottom, and the water coming in is coming in from the top. You could sit here and try to fight it all day long, but it totally makes sense what I said.
In your mind?
Well, how does it not? The water's coming into the pool this way, correct?
No, actually it's not, because it's coming from the ground up into your water spigot and then back down into your pool.
Come on.
The water comes from the ground.
Come on.
Water comes from the... It doesn't? Your water doesn't come from under your house?
No.
Yes, it does.
No. All my water's on top of the house.
You a damn liar.
You're so full of shit. Anyways, you're just trying to be right. You know you wrong. You know Mingo's right. That's what we should... Let's change the name of the show. You know Mingo right. I'm just bullshitting.
My daughter was supposed to leave Chicago on Saturday. Well, I shouldn't say it like that. My daughter her flight was Saturday like at 7 p.m., 8 p.m. maybe.
Okay.
She goes to the airport. She calls us about maybe 2 hours later. They boarded the plane, sat on the plane, made everybody exit the plane.
Why?
There was a mechanical issue with the plane.
Ugh.
She was hot, kid.
I bet, dude.
Dude, hot. Because they were like, okay, here's a voucher for a hotel room. Here's a voucher for a meal. Your next flight going out is going to be tomorrow at 7 a.m.
Wow.
And it's like 8 p.m.
Didn't a law just pass that if they were going to be delayed more than 3 hours, they had to give them 2 times the cost of their airfare?
I think if you
don't accept the vouchers, is that what it is?
If you don't fly with them, if you don't, or something along those lines.
Okay.
But if they delay it more, I think what it is, if they delay more than 3 hours, they have to like give you food or a voucher for food. And because it was overnight, they paid for their hotel room.
Nice.
But here's the worst part. Our flight the following day was at what time was my flight at? 9?
At night or in the
No,
morning?
in the morning.
Don't tell me you left before she did.
No, but my flight was delayed as well because of mechanical errors. Dog.
Did you fly in Delta?
I was flying United.
Okay.
She flew American.
Okay.
Dog. Got to the airport early. We got to the airport we were there at 7 for a 9 a.m. flight.
You're right.
9 came around, plane's not ready. 10 o'clock came around, plane's not ready. 11 o'clock. Then they're talking about we have another flight going to Palm Springs at 3 o'clock. Worst case scenario, if we can't get another, because they were trying to get another plane.
Oh, okay.
Because they were like, we can't, not only we can't get the part, but even if we do, we don't feel comfortable with it.
Holy
so
shit.
Worst case scenario, we have another flight that has plenty of room at 3 o'clock.
Okay.
So I was like, damn. Been sitting there since 7?
So 5 hours.
Well,
6 hours.
No, they finally got a plane at, I think, around noon.
Oh, God.
So it wasn't too bad. But still, it was just like, man, what's going on these days?
Yeah, there's a lot of airplane problems, huh?
Yeah, kid.
Doors flying off, can't get shit fixed. But then again, but we had talked about this, remember? About how many flights a day do those fucking planes make?
Yeah, 2 or 3 at least.
At least, right? So in a week, how many flights is that? And you're talking What do they go 400 to 500 miles an hour in the air?
I would assume so.
Like that's a lot of fucking.
Here's the funny thing, with everything that's going on with them. At one point, we were going over something. Let's just say the Grand Canyon for shits and giggles.
Right.
My old lady says, "Open up the window. Let me look out." And I probably seen this almost every time I've flown before, but just never paid any attention. I open up the window. We both look out, but then I look kind of like forward, and I'm looking at the wings,
How much it shakes?
and they shake, kid. And I was like, "Oh my god!"
Like it's ready to just fucking rip
yeah,
off, right?
kid. I've probably seen it before like nothing, but now because of everything that's going on, and now that I'm getting older, and you start looking at things like this, dude, that wing was shaking, kid, and I was like, "Oh man."
Well, when you're young, it's like
Yeah.
the percentage chance of that happening to me right now is few and far between. But as you get older and you've taken more flights, you're like, fuck, my percentage is shortened. Like a motherfucker, right? Holy shit.
Yeah, it was kind of scary, kid. I ain't gonna lie.
Have you ever watched those movies where they like the guys that were at the soccer team that crashed in the Andes?
Oh, Alive?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they had to eat each other and shit.
Well, do you remember? They had like a piece of the airplane, a metal piece.
Uh-huh.
So they skinned the dudes, and they like laid it out thin, like they were cooking bacon, because from the reflection off of the sun onto the metal.
Oh. That's rough, bro. Do you think you could do it? Could you eat another human?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Like, you'd have to be really hungry.
Yeah. Well, it's almost like anything else, though. If you sit there and look at a chicken or a cow, you'd be like, or a pig for that matter.
Right? Who knew that you sliced that motherfucker, it was gonna be delicious?
Yeah, and you look at a piece of bacon, that's totally different from looking at an actual pig.
Right.
So it's like, if I don't have to slaughter the other person, cut them up, but yet you're just gonna give me a nice cooked meal,
A nice slab of fucking meat. Holy shit, dude.
There's a show on Showtime called Yellow Jackets.
Right. I remember. I haven't watched any more of it since the last time we spoke.
There's 2 seasons,
Okay.
but yeah, it's something similar. High school soccer team or something. A bunch of girls though, airplane crashes, and I think if I remember right, they start eating each other.
Oof.
Yeah.
They said there's no coming back from that. Like after you have a piece of human meat, that you crave it.
Really?
Yeah.
What, like a tattoo? Like a Lay's?
I don't think the craving's that bad. But they say that there's something about that taste that.
I think it'd be more like mentally. How do you come back from something like that? Like, let's say you had to do it. You're stranded somewhere. And somebody that you guys were with passed away. And so you wound up eating them. Okay. Then you get rescued. Da-da-da.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. If you're on an airplane and it crashes, and you crash and you're out in the middle of nowhere, you're okay. You got a couple bumps and bruises, but nothing keeping you from moving around. You know that you're going to be okay as long as you can get help or somebody finds you. Pretty soon you'll be all right, right? Do you begin at that point to take note of who's on the plane? And be like, all right, Karen's first.
What, if somebody got to go, you picking the order? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, probably.
Like if everybody survived.
Okay, yeah, let's start there. Fuck it. If everybody in your airplane survived,
Okay.
how would you choose the order of who goes first?
In case you had to eat somebody?
Right.
Well, I don't think you do. What? This ain't Lord of the Flies, kid. Come on.
Dude, we're in a fucking studio. We're not in an airplane in the back of it saying, okay, bro, something's going to happen on this plane. We need to figure out who's going to... No, I'm just hypothetical.
Well, I would think it'd be the person that doesn't want to go on anymore.
All right, let's make it easy. Do you pick a fat person first or a thin person?
How many people we feeding?
What is there, like 100 on a plane? Maybe?
Damn.
Let's say you have half a plane full. After, people die, blah, 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 you got 50%.
I still say you got to pick the person that's checking out mentally, that's maybe a loner.
What about the person that's causing the most problems? That's fighting everything you guys suggest, everything you want to do, or whatever you say is super negative? Well, that'd probably be you. I don't know if you'd want to choose yourself. I don't like it. Get Tony! No, I'm just kidding.
No, again, I think there's going to have to be some group of people that just freak out on a regular basis, that doesn't want to be there, that doesn't think they're going to make it, that we're going to make it.
So,
yo,
what?
This is going to be fucked up.
Okay.
Okay? But for whatever reason, this just popped in my head.
Okay.
That episode of Seinfeld where Kramer was like, it was the head of Kramer, but he was on a turkey body, like on Thanksgiving, like a plate.
I remember that one.
Okay. It's like a turkey already made, but they put his head on it, like superimpose his head.
Okay.
So, don't ask me why, but I just saw a turkey with your head looking at me like...
That's fucked up. I don't like this game no more. It's fucked up. So let me ask you this. Do you think that people would taste different?
No.
No?
I don't think so, no. Because once you cook it, I think it all tastes the same. Once you cook a chicken, they all taste the same.
No. That's not true.
Really?
Yeah. Yard bird is way different than a chicken meant for like a hen that's just laying eggs all day. It's caged and fed pellets. Totally different. A free range chicken is also different because of what it eats.
Huh.
So let's say you had a redneck from the Appalachian area, what is it, Tennessee or Kentucky? Where's Appalachians at? The mountains.
Montana?
Where?
Montana?
No. Well, that's the top of the Appalachians, right? Is that where they come out?
I don't know.
No, I think you're wrong. Appalachians, I think it's starting like Tennessee, Georgia, somewhere in that area, past Georgia. So basically, it's mountains, and they make moonshine in those mountains. So I would assume that somebody from that area that look like the dudes from Duck Dynasty, that they're pickled. So like, or like you see somebody on there that clearly is a heavy drinker. I would think that they're going to be pickled and the meat's going to be soft, even after you cook it, because of all the alcohol content.
Okay.
Another Mexican, probably very salty meat, because we consume. I'm gonna say because there are parts of Mexico where people eat very healthy, but for the most part, it's very salty food, right? And we eat with a lot of salt and everything. So I would say that Mexicans would be salty. But then you have, when you're fat like me, you got chicharrón. So I don't know, what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? If you just need to eat to survive or to keep the weight on, you'd probably want to eat the fat dude because, well, fuck, his fat content's high. He's gonna be able to keep our weight on with a little bit of nutritional value, and we'll be good in the long run.
Do you think a person that's heavy, I'm not going to say you, but a person that's heavy, all right? You know how when you get a piece of steak that has like that fat on it?
Uh-huh.
That's like really rubbery, stuff like that. Do you think you as not you, but these people have that? Like if we were to cut a chunk out of somebody, would there be like...
Are they marbled, or do you mean, or do they have the fat that's like the yellow...
Right.
nodules and shit?
Yeah, like
I would,
rubbery.
yeah, I would probably look like you probably don't want to eat that. I'm assuming that like there's got to be a layer of like seal fat.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But then once you get in that, and then everything else is kind of loose with your intestines, and around your intestines looks like the yellow grapes. You know what I'm talking about? Like when they show you fat and they're like, oh, this is 10 pounds of fat,
Oh, yeah.
and it looks like fucking yellow grapes, right? 'Cause
Right,
it's
right.
like that. I'm sure that would probably be on the inside of me. So you'd have to eat like there's probably about 2 inches in on the outer layer to the inside. So you'd probably get about 2 inches of the seal fat, and then you'd get the grapes, and then you'd move all that aside, and you'd see the intestines and actual meat and the muscles and all that shit.
Huh.
But I don't know. I've never cut up. That sounds really strange. So
But
we're talking
you're
about
right
that.
when you see those commercials. Here's 10 pounds of fat, and it's just like this big yellow
Right.
glob. And so that's not meat on you.
No, but you could use that shit to deep fry whatever else you cut off of me.
You think it would break down like an oil like that? Let's say under heat?
I'm assuming it would have to. 'Cause that's what fat does, right? Like when you cook bacon, that's what it's rendering the fat off of those strips.
But when you have that big old glob like they show you on TV, you think you can just cut a little piece off of it, throw it in a pan, and it'll form an oil
Yeah.
or grease?
It's like body butter. I don't know. That's a good question. The
Have you-
fucked up part is we'll never get these answers.
Oh, you know what? Okay. When they show you that, again, that 10 pounds,
Okay?
have you ever seen like a exploded photo of a person that might have that kind of 10 pounds on them? Where it actually shows how it's layered in somebody. Like I got a gut.
Right.
Okay, so let's say I got a good 10, 15 pounds.
Okay?
10.
Well, 15 because you're not going to the potty regular. So that's, you know what I mean? Just makes
So-
it look like 15.
So if you were able to open this up, would it be just like that glob just right here? Or would this like be meat right here?
I think that would be that like I was saying, that would be like a 2-inch layer. I think you would have a layer. I mean, yours is going to be 2 inches. You know what I mean? But you'd have a layer of fat underneath your actual skin. Does that make sense?
Under the skin before anything else?
Right.
Under the skin.
Like right under the skin. Like I would think that there would be the skin, maybe a slight layer of muscle. And then below that would be like the layer of fat, and then would be that bag of butter.
Wow. I don't know. I don't think I've ever actually seen... Because when they show you like a skeleton with the muscles still on it, like the red muscles,
Right.
and they show it looks like lines and stuff.
Right.
Okay, that's a fit person. You always see those pictures.
Right.
All right, show me like an overweight person in
Right.
that way.
And in that way, if we ever land in a mountainy area, and we have no weapons to actually go hunting, and the snares that we've learned how to make aren't working, and the figure 4 traps aren't working, and we got to turn against each other. We know who to go for first.
So back to that person, that the skeleton with the red muscles that we see in books and TV.
Okay.
So what you're saying, or would you think that the fat that they show you is almost like a padding all the way around all that, and then the skin right on top of that?
No, because if you look at the picture that you're talking about, right? It's got that marble through the meat, right?
The red
Through the red meat,
right.
and it's got the little white strips or lines
Yes.
in it.
I think they just do that for accents.
You think so?
I don't think that's necessarily showing that fat. I just think they do that just to show, how muscle is like.
Well, but part of it is tendons and part of it is fat because it's
So,
all.
for example, if I were to give myself a shot in the stomach,
Mhm.
are you saying that the needle enters as soon as it hits my skin, I'm going through 2 inches of fat?
Well, it depends on how big the needle is.
Well, it's a 5-inch needle.
So yeah, you're gonna the first thing you're gonna do is go through that layer of meat and then the fat, and I don't know how.
Well, no, I thought you said it was skin, then fat, then your meat, then your muscle.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
Huh. I know we could probably look it up and show exactly what.
But I'm assuming. So what? How is body fat layered? Is that what we're gonna ask?
How's body fat? Or
How is the body layered under the skin? The dermis found beneath the epidermis contains connective tissue, hair follicles, blood vessels, lymphatic vessels, sweat glands. That's not telling me what I want. Let's see here. Ooh, and then would you keep the skin and treat it like leather so that you can have a carrying backpack? All right. So you have the epidermis, the dermis, the hypodermis. These are all layers of skin. But they're only like, okay, how does layer under the skin? Yeah. There you go. Yeah, it's a fatty layer. The hypodermis, the bottom, or the fatty layer. So it is fat.
so if you were to stick a needle in my stomach, I'm going through 2 inches of fat? And then what's right under it?
So here it says, look. So this is your skin.
Okay.
So this is the top layer, the actual skin,
That looked like a piece of cake.
which is called the epidermis, because it's showing you the layers, and cakes
Alright.
have layers.
Layer cake, I get it.
And then you have the epidermis, which is the second layer under the skin. So that's where your hair follicles and all that shit starts. And after that, you have what's called the hypodermis, and that is your fatty layer. That starts your fatty layer of skin. And it looks that they painted just like we were talking about, the yellow grapes.
Okay. Huh. And depending on how big you are, depends on how thick that grape is,
Yup.
how wide it is, how deep it is.
Could you imagine? Boy, I got like a fucking vineyard.
Well, it's funny. Not funny, but I lost like 10 pounds in a month of throwing up and not eating.
Is it that you lost 10 pounds or that you just didn't gain 10 pounds because...
No, I lost 10 pounds.
Yeah? Well, Good news is I found them for you. So if you want them back, just let me know. Cause
Well, I don't know. I brought 2 cakes home from Chicago, so I might find them myself.
yeah, I was gonna say you right back at it. So do they think by you, after doing this next test, that he can definitively give you an answer? And
I have no idea.
and
None.
you didn't ask like,
No. Not at all. You know what another worst part about it is?
what's that?
They were like, since you haven't been here in like a year, we're going to go ahead and give you your annual physical. Man, I wasn't prepared for all that.
So what does that mean?
Drop your pants. I'm going to hold them right quick. Turn to your right and cough. I'm like, ah, man, you didn't give me a chance to manscape or anything up in here.
Wow.
And then it's like, okay, turn around, lean against the bed.
Doc, can we go to lunch first at least, Doc?
Man.
God damn, Doc.
I was not prepared for it.
And it's always the gynecologist and butthole doctors that have the biggest hands, right?
It felt like it.
Jesus criminy.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. And then I don't know if I told you this either. In regards to undiagnosed hypertension. Did I ever say that?
Well, so what's hypertension?
High blood pressure.
Okay.
I ever mentioned that?
No.
Okay. I'm very scared of needles.
Okay.
Okay. I'm scared of doctors, period.
Yeah, I don't fucking.
Okay. So, but needles, when I go to have to draw blood, it's really hard for me. And I sit in that chair and I just lay out my arm and I just look the other way and I'm just like,
Your heart starts pumping fast.
Yes.
You're breathing heavy.
yes. So what happens is when I go get my iron infusions, I got 2 things going against me. I schedule the appointment after work. And when I mean after work, it's like, all right, what time? 3 o'clock. Okay, I got to make sure to stop working by 2:15.
Okay.
So I could drive over here, check in, blase, blase. So I'm always running late. Always. So
Okay.
I'm rushing to get over there. And I sit down real fast. They bring me to the back. They have to check my blood pressure before starting. And my blood pressure's high. And they're like, okay, we need to make sure we have to wait for your blood pressure to drop a little bit before we can stick the IV in you.
Okay.
So after about 10 minutes, they check it again. I'm usually fine. Now they stick the needle in me. They put in the IV thing.
Right.
Now I'm not looking at them while they do this. I didn't know this, but I always assumed that the needle just stayed in your arm.
It doesn't.
No, see, boom. I don't feel so bad now.
Oh, because they back it out, but the little plastic
Right,
in there, right?
right.
Okay.
And I thought the plastic tube was like something as stiff as a needle.
Okay.
So my procedure takes about 40 minutes.
Okay.
The iron infusion. So, dude, for 40 minutes, my arm is just straight. I don't look at it. I don't do anything. I don't move it. Nothing. Because I'm nervous. I got a fucking needle in my arm.
Yeah, you don't want to blow out your
Yeah,
vein.
and I'm just like, I'm looking the other way. I got my earpods in. Dude, my arm falls asleep. Now, for me to leave, they have to take my blood pressure. Because they don't want me going into a car accident from,
That makes sense.
Yeah. What happens? Blood pressure's high. So I tell them it's because I got a needle in my arm and you guys taped that shit up so much on my arm that when you rip it off, you're going to rip off all my arm hairs. And it's painful. So now I'm nervous about it. So, like, they're telling me you need to calm down. I'm like, I'm trying.
I don't want to calm down.
I want it. So, this very last time, dude, it took me like 20 minutes before they let me go.
Really?
Yeah. And I told them after 10 minutes, I said, look, take the tape off and pull that thing out of my arm, and I guarantee you, I'll start to calm down. Because right now, I'm just thinking about you ripping this tape off and pulling this needle out of my arm. And that's when she was telling me it's not a needle. It is something in your vein, but it's, I'm not telling you to do curls, but you can move around. You're fine. That made me feel a little bit better.
Okay.
But they did tell me, look, when you go to your doctor, you need to ask him, you might have undiagnosed hypertension. So I was like, all right, cool. So my doctor's appointment was at 10 o'clock yesterday. So I said, look, this is what I'm going to do. Told myself this. I'm not going to work in the morning because I don't want to rush over there. I don't want to be concerned about what I'm leaving work-wise to have to come back to, what I didn't finish, what I might have to call one of my guys to finish. You know what I'm saying?
You don't want to add to the stress.
Yeah, so I'm going to stay home, do some stuff around the house, clean my dirty-ass pool from this windstorm. So I went there. They did the blood pressure, the whole nine. So I told the doctor, it's like, yeah, they wanted me to ask you about undiagnosed hypertension. And he's looking. He's like, no, your blood pressure's fine. So I was like, and I told him the exact story of what I'm telling you right now. He's like, yeah, just tell them you're just too nervous, blase, blase. But then he tells me, look, I don't think you don't have it, but you're working yourself up too much.
Yeah.
And that's not good for you.
You have that it's called white coat syndrome or some shit like that.
Oh, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, he was telling me, you need to learn to meditate. And so while you're getting this procedure done, you need to meditate to calm yourself down because they're right. You're if they're telling you your blood pressure is really high, you really need to, that's not good for you.
Right.
And he's like, book the appointment or stop working a lot earlier than you've been doing because when you get there, you're all amped up, you're nervous. And I'm like, all right, I'll try. But meditation, dude, I would love to meditate. But they say you really got to learn how to do that. To do it right. I figure you could just sit there in your room with nothing going on.
Well, but there's a difference between sitting in a calm room and reaching a meditative state.
Don't you reach a meditative state in a calm room?
It's a lot easier, yeah. But when you're sitting in a calm room, are you able to shut it down?
No.
Your brain?
No.
Yeah, so you're not near a meditative state.
Right.
That's why you got to practice. You got to practice shutting shit down while you're still cognitive.
Well, I realize that, but what I'm saying is I've heard that it's more than just that, than calming down and letting everything go and being at a zero ohm, if you will,
right,
point. There's more to it than that, just that. And I'm like, what?
Well, I think people talk about it that way or start it off that way to get you to kind of embrace the ideology and then move you from there. Like when I go to the doctor, I know, fuck, man, I got to take my blood pressure. They're going to tell me it's too high. They're going to try to send me to the hospital. Like, blah, blah, blah. They're not going to fucking let me leave. Like, what else is going to be wrong? Like, what are they going to find? Like, so I start building myself up that way.
Yeah.
Like you do. And this last time I went, when I sat down, I said, that's just going to be fucking off the charts. I said, look, I'm fat. I said, I just got out the car. I walked up to the office. It's all uphill. You know what I mean? I went up. I just sat down. You guys called me. I had to stand back up, come to this room, walk it like I'm doing all this shit. I'm thinking about all these things that are happening. Fuck, I just got fired. I'm trying to find a job. I'm building myself up now just talking about it. You know what I mean? She said, okay, you got a lot going on. Just calm down. I'll come back in a little bit because it was high. So, okay, well, I'll come back in a little bit to check it again. All right. So in the same when I was about to leave, she says, well, normally this is when I check your blood pressure to see where you are before you go so I can chart it. She says, but knowing that you know what's going on and why you feel like you're like that, she says, I'm going to give you a good 10 minutes by yourself just to kind of try to relax yourself, kind of, breathe and kind of calm yourself down. She said, and then we'll come in and take the the blood pressure again. Perfect. So she comes back in 10 minutes, and I'm right at the level where I should be, right? But when I first came in, I was like close to like 200 over like 110 or some shit, and she was like, "How are you not dead?" You know what I mean? I'm like,
Right.
"Well, fuck, I don't." You know what I mean? I'm spiking because all these things are going on in my head. Plus, you got this shit going like, you know what I mean? You add to it every time I come in here, and who knows what the fuck you're gonna tell me. And I said, so I just need to. I'm overstimulated with being here, thinking about what you're doing, and all of my problems outside of here. So I don't know. I think that's what's driving my blood pressure, especially after you give me 10 minutes in a dimly lit room, calm, and my blood pressure's fine. I said, so that just goes to show me that to me it's situational, that I can control it if I can keep myself in this state. I said, but once I start thinking about it, it just spirals and out of control. So you could control it, is what I'm saying.
No, I can't.
No?
My mind is always racing. Always.
You don't know. You don't. Okay, so it's gonna sound like you don't know how to stop your mind. Like you've never tried to redirect your mind.
Hey, this is going to sound funny. All
Okay.
right. I stopped doing this about maybe 5 years ago. When I would go to the bathroom at night, in the middle of the night,
Okay.
okay, I would start thinking about work. What am I doing the next day?
Right.
What needs to get done? And so it took me a long time. It was hard to fall back to sleep. Not only work, I would think of a song.
Right.
And all of a sudden, that's. So it's gonna sound odd, but it worked. I would think of a black wall. I would just put a black wall in my head.
That,
When I
that's
went to
not
the bathroom.
that's not weird at all. By the way.
Really?
Yeah. I used to do that to fall asleep.
I don't know what made me think of it, but it was just I just literally thought of a wall that was black, and just pictured that in my head, and that helped.
Yeah. If you can, like I was having trouble sleeping for a long time, so I started forcing myself to shut down because like sometimes when I would lay down to go to sleep, it felt like that picture of the Matrix at the end where he walks in and it's all the fucking televisions
Okay.
and they're all on different fucking channels. Some are staticky and then the other ones all have different pictures going on. It's kind of how I felt like my mind would be when I closed my eyes when it was time to shut down. So I would tell myself it's just a black room, just black, just focus on black. And soon the room started to dim to where it started to become black to where I was able to control it and fall asleep. And then, as you go on, it seems more difficult now to control my mind to bring it down to that black room than it was when I was younger. Make sense?
It does because I mean you have more responsibilities now.
Yeah.
That's why it's harder to do it now than it was when you were younger.
Yeah.
But for me, I don't really have to do that anymore. Maybe it's because the kids have moved on, so I don't, I'm not worried about that so much. Wife and I, in all aspects are in good standings with everything. Not that not on a personal like her and I, but like work,
Just
money, household stuff. Everything's. We've made it over that hump, so now everything's like, it's cool. It's
right.
so I think that has a lot to do with it as well. So I just haven't had to think about the black wall for quite a number of years now.
That's good. So is thinking of that, would that be So would you say you don't need to think of the black wall anymore, or is it just that you don't have to go that deep into it to calm yourself to sleep?
No, I don't think I have to think about the black wall anymore. Like work is really under control, and a lot of it has to do with, again, I'm not trying to take on more stuff to make more money, and I got to do this and I got to do that and I got to do this to pay for this and to pay for that.
Right.
It's not like that anymore. It's more, I'm good. I let those bullshit jobs go to the new guys and the younger guys. I don't have to worry about it. I'm not chasing that dollar like some of the new guys are, or like I used to have to be.
Right.
I'll give you another example. If they want to bid on a job, I'll bid it a little higher,
Just so they can get it.
or if I get it, great. If I don't, it's no big deal.
Got you. But you bid it large too, with the intention of not getting it. It's okay. So let me ask: when you bid a job, are you bidding just because they asked and you don't really give a shit? So you're like almost throwing in the towel before you get it?
It's more like, hey, I can sell you on this, and this will do this for you, and it's a lot easier. It's more of a luxury item. I'm trying to make a sale, whereas I'll just if they see something like that, they can approach me and I can give them a price. I'm not trying to upsell anymore.
Right.
If that
Okay.
makes sense.
Got you. That's a good place to be, though, right? To some degree.
Yeah, to some degree. I mean, I could be, of course you could make more money doing it the other way, but it's getting to the point where I need to, I'm on the back nine with my career.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm still going to work. Probably till obviously till I retire, but I'm not planning on retiring anytime soon. But I'm not, I'm on the back nine.
Man, I'm looking for a 9.
So where are you at?
Bro, still, I don't get it. Like, it's been the 3 months.
Oh,
So I received my last severance check. But in that time, bro, like I haven't. I've applied place after place after place after place, and nothing. Never got a hey, we're interested. Hey, I've gotten a few of the hey, thanks for applying, but no thanks. Got a few of those. Other than that, no interviews, no callbacks, no nothing. And I'm usually, you know what I mean, like 1 out of every 10. And I must have applied to 100 jobs and
really?
at least and nothing.
That's a lot, kid.
Yeah, which really surprises me. Like I said, I usually by now I would well, fuck, I'd have a job by now. But again, you have all these companies right now that are closing down. You have companies that are closing down specifically in California that are leaving. So it's like there's a bigger pool of people that are applying, and because I'm on the upper age group of people that are applying for jobs, I guess I'm almost in that. Oh, we hire him. He's going to be the, oh yeah, we didn't do it that way before, back in my day kind of shit. You know what I mean? Well, I'm not like that to begin with, so I wouldn't compare a new job to an old job. Oh yeah, we didn't do it like that before. Oh, this is how we used to do it. I've never done that at a job. So And I like learning, so wherever I go, that would be a whole new thing. And uh, nothing, bro. Nothing.
Back to our scale, 1 through 10 of nervousness. I think you got up to an 8, didn't you? One of our previous conversations.
Yes. So is 8? I'm being really nervous, or is?
Yeah, because like when we first started, you were like at a 1.
Oh yeah.
You were at a 3. I think we got up to 8 the last time we spoke.
Well, I think that following through with becoming a financial advisor and doing that kind of stuff and chasing that a little bit, I'm not as. I wouldn't say it's an 8. I'd put it at a 6 because I feel like I have the. I know I have the ability. That's not the question. But when you do an all commission job, or you do a position like that, I don't think money could be my only. Excuse me. Can be my only driving force in this business. There's got to be something bigger than that. And I think that yeah, because I mean, it's really not that hard. I don't think it's just you got to be disciplined to get up and do what you got to do every day, and your only accountability is to yourself. That's the thing that I don't have, is that because I don't have that accountability, or that kind of support structure. You know what I mean? Like if I was married,
Right.
they'd be like, "Well, babe, did you do everything?" Well, why not? You're not going to be able to do it. What can I do what's the structure? I don't have anybody to work it out with. I got to do it that way. Like I have people that are in the business that do it, and I kind of feel like doing this business is almost like going to church. Is that whole birds of a feather flock together, fellowship with like-minded people, all those kind of things are important to have around you. Because if you don't have people that are dealing with those same kind of things, it'd be, oh, come on, man, you can call people later. Oh, you don't have to go do that. Oh, call and reschedule. Let's go, let's go here. Let's go there. Let's do so. Oh, you don't need to do that right now. Oh, come on. You know what I mean? And if you don't have, yeah, dude, make another call. Call that one and then make another call and then see if you can get 2. You know what I mean? Instead of, you don't need to call. Oh, you'll get that tomorrow. Oh, don't worry about it.
But you don't have that person now telling you that.
Right.
You don't have the devil on your shoulder telling you that.
Right.
But you also don't have the angel.
Right. So I'm left to my own, I guess, my own drive or my own want to make it happen. And I don't know if I have that self-drive to get up every morning and do that specific thing. And then I've been able to do it so far, like, every day I've gotten up and I've made calls and I've done stuff, and I've got a couple of appointments set. I got a couple of people that are under me. I got a couple of sales coming this next week. So it's possible and it's there.
So you're working.
I'm making phone calls, yeah.
Are you employed?
I don't know. So let me ask you a question.
Okay.
If you're working, I'm sorry, hold on, let me pull back. If you're doing exercises, let's call them exercises for now, and you're not guaranteed a paycheck, are you working? Or are you just doing free shit for somebody?
You're not guaranteed a paycheck.
Correct.
But there is the opportunity for a paycheck.
Only if that person buys.
So if you close the sale, you'd get a check.
Correct.
So yes, you're working.
Okay. How long do you work without a paycheck? Because in order to do this, you have to pay for your license. You have to pay for the school to get your license. You have to be paid to basically be in there to sell their products, right? So you're like probably $250 in. Not to mention your time and everything else. By the time you get to start reaching out to people.
Okay, let's equate it to a used car or car salesman.
Okay.
They don't get paid by the hour, do they?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
No, wait a minute. They do, don't they? To begin with, they get a stipend. They'll say, okay, so we'll pay you so much. This is what you get, bare minimum. But we expect you we'll give you 2 or 3 months of getting that. And if by the third month, if you're not getting more than that, you're done.
So if you don't make a sale, I do know they give you X amount of time to sell a car.
Correct.
Or to sell what they need you to sell.
Correct.
So you're saying that they still get a check?
Correct.
Okay. Is there any other that I could relate to? Because I thought the car salesman would have been a perfect one. I don't think there is.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think there's any job that says, hey, here's all this. We're going to give you all the tools. We're going to give you all the tools. Let's see if you can make it work.
That's a good question.
You know what I mean? Like I'm there. I mean, fuck, dude, I've driven to Fullerton, Costa Mesa, Vegas for classes and for meetings.
Huh.
Every Tuesday, every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, I was joining classes that would help me with my test. And then they started having a meeting every Monday. And then they started having a meeting every morning at 9 a.m. to go over what you're going to do for the day, which they design as to help you set your day and to help you with your business.
So you're coming out of pocket for everything right now.
Yeah.
And they don't reimburse you for any of this?
Nope. Because I said something to my son. I was like, fuck, I gotta go to Costa Mesa this weekend. He said, dang, are they even giving you, are they? He said, oh, I bet you can't wait till you get your travel check. I said, my travel check? What are you talking about? They don't reimburse my travel. That's all out of pocket. Like everything that I've spent so far, I would get to write off, but I don't.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. Have you asked them if people have quit up until this point doing what you've done so far?
Yes.
And what's the answer?
Yes, they have. All the time.
So, in other words, you need to have a job in order to do this job.
Like this is intended, I believe, to be supplemental income while you have a job until you reach the level that you're steady.
Oh, okay. Did you know that going into this?
Yeah, kind of. And that's why I was still looking for a job this whole time, but I haven't been able to fucking find one. And now I'm at the point, but then I'm thinking, okay, so they say yes, and we want you to be able to have a job while you're doing this one, but yet all the fucking meetings and all the shit that they have is like, okay, so how much time are you going to leave for my other job? Like, you want me to meet with you at 9? I would be at my normal job by now.
Right.
So it's almost counterintuitive what they're asking you. But fuck, Tony, I sit and I look at and I see the numbers, bro. I see the number that these people are pulling in and that they're making on a monthly basis. And it's astronomical, the amount of money that these people are pulling in every 2 weeks.
But how long have they been doing it?
Some of them have been doing it, 3-4 years. And, they're at different levels. Like if I really stopped questioning it, but this is the problem. I'm not a very good follower. I'm not a Kool-Aid drinker. I never have been. You know what I mean by that?
No.
Like, so let's say you have somebody that, like, okay, so you've been a business owner, right?
Yes.
Have you ever had an employee that was like, well, why? Why do we do that? Why do we do it that way? Well, what if we did it like this? And you're like, just fucking do it like I told you.
Yeah.
That's why, right?
Right.
And then you have another guy that's like, oh my God, Tony, you're like the best thing under the sun. That's the best idea. Let's do that. Hey, if there's ever an opening, you need to come work for Tony because, dude, the dude just knows his shit. Like it's great and blah 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 and blows you up, right?
Right.
He's drinking the fucking Tony Kool-Aid. He's behind you. Whatever you say is like a fucking ray of sunshine, and they believe every bit of it, and they're gonna follow it to a T. Which is,
you're not that guy.
No.
So, are you telling me you don't believe in the product you're trying to sell?
No, I totally believe in it.
So, did you drink the Kool-Aid?
No.
I'm not saying that in a negative way. I mean, I'm just using your verbatim.
Well, I believe in the product.
Okay, then.
No. There's a difference between drinking the Kool-Aid and believing the product. Drinking the Kool-Aid is like you're totally 100% in, like it's the bee's knees. It's the best thing under the sun.
So you don't believe that for your product?
And even if I did, I wouldn't dance around and settle. Like I'm not that person. I'm not that cheerleader. Does that make sense?
It does make sense, but isn't that what's needed to do what the job you're signing on to do?
I don't think so. I don't.
If a car salesman went to Toyota, he would have to be like, Toyota's the best vehicle on the road. This is the safest vehicle on the road. Let me tell you why this is the car for you. Because I believe in it, da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yes, but there's a difference. There's a difference between, hey, you know what? Toyota's a great car. It's got the safest ratings umpteen years in a row. Maintenance, great on it. Shouldn't have anything to worry about. Maintain it the way you're supposed to. The car will last you forever. As opposed to, Toyota is the greatest car out there. And let me tell you, this, and oh my God. If you were to buy another car, instead of this Toyota, you would have to be crazy. Like, can you imagine walking away from buying this Toyota after what I'm about to tell you?
Okay, so, but your first example, even that is a great salesman in a sense. Are you saying you're not even that?
Oh, I'm a great salesman. Fuck, come on.
All right, well, I mean, I'm not
a gung-ho follower. So, like, they want you to go to all these meetings. They want you to do this. They want you to do that. They want you to blah blah blah. Hey, you need to come to this. You need to come to that. I don't always believe that that's necessary. Like, I don't.
Okay, let me ask you this:
Yes.
if you're not collecting a paycheck,
Yes.
if you're doing what you've done so far is on your own dime,
Yes.
why do you have to go to these meetings?
You don't.
Oh, you're straight.
You don't. But
2 hours away.
if you don't go, and you're not, and you don't put forth your best foot forward, and you don't succeed, is that your own fault?
Okay, let's backtrack. What's the point of these meetings that they want you to go to?
They're like sales meetings. They're like,
okay, so it would
they're
benefit
teaching you stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's not like it wouldn't benefit me. Oftentimes they're repetitive, but it's the kind of repetition that I think that people that are starting off in a business need to hear quite often, to keep that kind of shit in mind.
Right.
As you're going through the paces.
I think it's to keep you motivated in trying to sell their product.
Correct.
So that's the point of going there once a week, if not more.
Well, and I think
to keep you in line, to keep you focused on selling
to keep
their
you
product.
being a sheep, right?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, not in a negative way per se.
Right.
Because I used to have a friend who's a Jehovah's Witness.
Okay.
And one day, him and I were having a discussion. I'm like, "You're crazy," because he was saying he goes to Kingdom Hall Tuesdays, and he does like a men's group thing on Thursday nights,
Right.
and then on Saturdays he goes knocking on doors, and then on Sundays they go to church. And I'm like, bro, that's too much. And he tells me, why do you go to a pool every week? I said, I go twice a week. He goes, why do you go to the pool twice a week? I said, because shit can happen in between. You get algae problems, you get water level drops low and the motor burns out, or you get a dead rat that's floating around in the pool. If I wait a week, he's like, exactly, it could.
It festers.
Yeah, and so by us being involved in the church so much, that doesn't enter our spirit, our drive to be a better person. And I was like, okay, it's still a little extreme.
Scary the way they think sometimes.
But
right?
I see your point when you break it down like that.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why they want you to.
Yeah, I mean, I see it. But I think that that's part of my practicality, I guess, is like, okay, I get it. I get that it's great for me to go. I get that, I can get something out of it. I get that these are all exercises that are going to help me in the long run. But you know what else would help me? Is if you motherfuckers gave me a paycheck. Because if all these things really help me as much as you say, and you tell me, hey, this is really great, this is going to help you drive, and this is going to help you get what you need to do, and you as the manager or the main business owner for this area know that by doing these things, I'm going to be able to make sales, I'm going to be able to do this, that I'm going to succeed, then you should be able to pay me a paycheck in the meantime. And if you can't, is it because you don't believe in your product? Is it because you don't believe in me? Is it because you don't believe in what you're teaching me? Why wouldn't you pay me to do it up front? If you know that what you're teaching me is going to help me succeed and get me to that financial promised land, why won't you pay me ahead of time, knowing that what you're teaching me is going to get there? I'll let you sit on that and let you.
Well, in a sense, you're asking to be paid to train. I'm not.
I,
Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's bad. I totally get it.
I'm not even asking to be paid to train. I'm asking. I'm saying, hey, I need to get paid to live. I need to be able to pay my rent. I need to be able to pay for the bills that I got going on, so that I'm not stressed out about that shit, and I can focus on what I need to be able to do this job. I'm not even just pay me the minimum that I need to be able to do those things, and then let me work towards getting the rest. Okay, cool. Let's build a bonus structure instead of, hey, we're going to pay you this amount flat that you got to work towards, and then whatever you get above that, we'll pay you out. So, like, let's say the first 60 grand I make in a year, they keep. Anything above 60 grand that I make that would be then you pay me out.
So you're saying your salary is 60 grand, in a sense,
Right.
and when you sell up to 60 grand, you're not keeping any of that commission,
Correct.
because they've paid you every week to equal that 60 grand.
Correct.
But you're saying that you're going to sell 60 grand worth of stuff.
But that's because you're telling me that with the training and I do everything you tell me, that I'm going to be able to sell that and more. But I'm telling you, that's dope. I'll tell you what, why don't you just pay me to keep me afloat financially, and then once I hit that, whatever's above, you can pay me out then. You understand what I mean?
I totally understand what you mean. But other people have done it. So why can't you?
Well, just because other people have done it that way for a long time doesn't mean that we can't, or that we shouldn't consider doing it another way.
So someone who's just starting, want to change the whole way they conduct their business?
I'm just saying that for me, that would make life a lot easier.
Well, they're not here to make your life easier.
But they want me, because of the qualities that I possess, to be able to make their business better. Because they see something in me that says, you're going to be great. We're going to teach you how to do this by doing these things. And we guarantee you that you'll be able to sell and make this kind of money by doing this thing on an honest and consistent basis. Well, if I could do that, then why are you waiting until I do it to pay me? If you're telling me that by doing that, and up until this point, I've proven that I'm willing to go above and beyond to do that, that should show you that, okay, he's gonna follow through. We're not gonna have an issue with him. Let's go ahead and get him his, the base salary of what he's asking, and then whatever he makes above that, we'll get him paid. Makes sense. But I know what you're saying, and I know that company's never going to change the way they do that, because I'm saying that's a great idea. This is what I need from you. That's not, no, they're not going to be like, oh yeah, fuck, you're right. Let's give you this salary. It's just not going to happen. But I'm just saying that it would be nice if that were the situation. You know what I mean? Because then it wouldn't be so stressful to get to that level. But maybe that's why they do it, is to make you focus and make you stay on task until you reach that level. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally see what you mean.
Because I think that there's a lot more people that would, all right, well, we're going to go ahead and give you the job. Your base salary will be the $60,000. Anything you reach above that, we'll pay you in a bonus. That'll be your commission.
If they were to do that,
yeah.
Do you think they should give you a probation or a time period? Say you need to make, like they do in car sales.
Absolutely.
How long do you think it should be?
Well, they say that if you work the program, that from the time you get input into the company, right? That 90 days.
3 months.
3 months.
You should
be able to hit what they call your third level.
Okay. So just for conversation's sake, maybe they tell that to car salesmen as well. You got 3 months to be able to sell 10 cars in a month. So your third month, you should be selling 10 cars. Or
Right,
else
because
you're out of here.
Yeah, because after the third month, I don't think they give you they cut you loose. They don't give you because you got to reach above whatever your general pay is.
What about a real estate agent? They don't get paid an hourly rate, do they?
No. It's
So
all
okay,
commission as well.
all right.
But there's a big difference between a real estate agent and other people. Like real estate agents make like $20,000-$30,000 a sale. That's a huge chunk of money. That's 6 months worth of salary for somebody that's making $60,000 a year. If you make $20,000, that's 5 months worth of, 4 months worth of salary for somebody making $60,000 a year.
But that's based on their hustle to be able to get the house listing,
Right.
and or find a buyer that's looking for a house.
Correct.
So what do they do when they first start until they reach that point to where they can get enough people to know that they're selling houses and buying houses? And
They figure it out. They hustle. They market. They push. Because they don't get paid either until, the way I understand it, you don't get paid until you sell a house. There's no.
yeah, I don't think so either. It's similar to what you're going through right now.
Yeah. Just scary. It's such a. It's kind of scary, but it's kind of exciting at the same time to kind of see it come together. You know what I mean? But you really, really have to buckle down and follow through with whatever your daily regimen should be. Making a certain amount of calls, talking to everybody, finding people to do this, finding people that are willing to join, doing this kind of thing, always selling, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't want to, the last thing I would ever do is like say we were at your Christmas party, right? I'm not going to go there and be like, okay, so while I'm at the Christmas party, I'm going to talk to at least 3 people and tell them about, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not my person.
ABC.
Right?
You know what
Always
ABC
be closing.
Yes.
Always.
You got to be. I mean, if that's, in a sense, of course, would I want you to do that and make my guests feel uncomfortable? Probably not. But could I understand why you were doing it? Yeah, I guess I could.
I mean, the most that, the only way that I would ever pitch it is if somebody, hey, so what do you do for a living? What are you doing now?
Right, yeah.
Oh, and, I'm, helping people plan for their financial future or whatever. Oh, okay. Well, how do you do that? Why don't we set up a date? No, I'll explain it to you better that way as
Right.
opposed to doing it here.
Let me ask you this. Have you had to, update or upgrade or add to your wardrobe?
Not yet.
Is that coming?
Yeah, all that'll be done because everything that I'm doing right now is by Zoom. So, people that I know, people that I've met, because my trainers are all out of town, we do everything by Zoom. So I don't have to, I could sit with sweats and a button-down shirt or a collared shirt because that's all they're going to see anyways. You
Right.
know what I mean? But will it change? Yeah.
So have you actually done a sale or a presentation, I should say, to an actual customer
Yes.
in person?
Not in person, Zoom.
Okay.
Because I have to have a trainer with me. So because we have the trainer, we do it by Zoom.
Where the person being pitched, did you bring them to the table or did your trainer?
I do.
So you brought somebody to the table
Correct.
and you had to do it through Zoom?
Yes. And you know what? It works better like that for right now because a lot of the people that, that obviously your first set of prospects are going to be like friends and family. So Like let's say one of our friends were on a call and they were considering doing it. Well, part of it is doing a financial analyst analysis of what you make, what you spend, and do all that. I would offer to step out. Say, hey, they're going to want to go over your finances, how much you make, what you spend your money on, blah blah blah. I'm going to go ahead and I'll step out of the Zoom if you like for about 5 minutes. That way you guys can go over whatever your finances are, and she'll text me or he'll text me to let me know that I can come back in. That way you guys can discuss it and you don't have to worry about it. I'm not a storyteller anyways. I don't tell other people's business, but I would rather make whoever I'm bringing in feel comfortable than them getting there and be like, oh, I don't want to fucking tell you my shit in front of Mingle. Like,
It isn't part of a sales pitch. The in person, and again, not negative, but it is a fact.
everything you say is negative.
The I'm gonna make you feel guilty until you sign on the dotted line too. That type of, I mean, again, not negative, but I'm right here. I'm looking at you in your eyes, and are we signing today?
Well, but I think so. Most of the times,
Emotion is what I'm saying.
right? So this happens. This is the way that it. I've noticed and that I've been told that it happens is there's at least 3 meetings before there's any kind of purchase. So the first meeting is introducing you to, hey, this is Alfredo. He's going to be helping us today. He's my trainer. Blah blah blah. He's been in the business for so long. He's blah 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 blah, whatever whatnot. Right. So then, hey, this is Tony and his wife. He owns a pool company. She's a mail clerk, or works for the post office. Blah 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 blah. She's been doing it for almost 20 years. She's been doing it for since they knew how to shape stone. Um, and then so they start asking you questions about, all right, so where do you see yourself? Do you have kids? How old are your kids? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? What are you looking for? How far out from retirement are you? That kind of thing. How much do you think you're going to need to retire? Then they start asking you all these questions. And all of it happens over Zoom right now for 2 reasons. I'm an outlier. So because I'm in Palm Springs, there's nobody here in this group. The closest ones are in like San Bernardino. Trainers.
Okay.
So, and in 2019 when the pandemic hit, they started doing everything via Zoom because they couldn't go to people's houses anyways. So, but now they're just starting to get away from doing Zoom, and they want you to go out and prospect and meet people and do all that, and actually go to their home. So once I get rid of having a trainer or a secondary person with me, once I feel comfortable enough to do the pitch by myself, I won't need them. I'll be able to go to people's houses.
Okay.
Which I'd be more comfortable doing with anyways. Because you're right, that making that face or maybe a subtle gesture or a movement in a chair could change the conversation completely, you know what I mean? But you have to be aware of those kind of things and be able to read the person that you're with to make that happen, you know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, doing that, for me, once I'm out and getting people's face or on Zoom, it's a totally different game.
So go ahead.
Because it's about listening.
So the amount of time you're putting in now, are you like on the phone, on email? I mean,
I'm on phone and text with potential customers, and then I'm virtual meetings, the Zoom meetings all day long. The other day I had a meeting at 9 a.m. I had 2 phone calls and a phone meeting at 11:30. And then after that, I had my own meeting via Zoom for what I wanted to do. Then I had one at 5:30 with a prospect, And then when I was done, somebody that I was pitching to came to my house at 6 to kind of go over everything that we had talked about and do all that. So it expands. It can expand the whole day.
Right.
And especially like right now, like everything that I want to do or everything that I can do with prospects is early morning. And then once we set up an appointment with them, it's all late afternoon because that's when my trainers are available to assist me more with people.
Man.
But shit, last Saturday, I had to go to Costa Mesa for a meeting, and the main dude was there, like for our area, and this dude makes well over $1 million a year. Like, just has a real go get 'em kind of mindset, and he's very straightforward, and he just kind of says what's on his mind, kind of deal. And sometimes he says things that are almost condescending, and I don't deal well with that kind of shit sometimes. Just don't like being talked to like that, you know what I mean? And so he does it, and so, you know, he'll call you out in the middle of class and ask you a question, and depending on how you answer, you know, he says shit, and he's trying to be funny, but it's almost like he's making fun of you.
Right.
And it's like, for you, I'll tear you apart, dog. You don't even know. You barking up the wrong tree, pimping. And so afterwards, everybody stayed behind, and my leader was like, "Hey, wait so you can meet him." But all right. So I had met him before. I met him when I was in Vegas, but this time was a little bit different. Oh yeah, I met Mingo when I was in Vegas. Blah blah blah. And he had asked me a question, and I had forgotten that we had done this exercise of putting together what our plan was. And he had asked me about it. I was like, well, I don't have a plan written down, but I got a general idea. Well, if you're losing already if you don't have a plan written down. I mean, how are you even in this class if you don't have a plan written down? Oh, you're talking about the plan that we turned. Yeah, I got that plan. He said, yeah, but you don't even read it. I said, yeah, but have you read it? We started going back and forth. And he says, oh, okay, so I'm going to keep an eye on you. I said, cool. I said, I ain't afraid of you. Bring it. You know what I mean? Like, keep an eye on me. I could use that. Like, I need that. Go ahead. You know what I mean? Make me be the one that's got to respond to you. Keep me on my toes. Make me be the one make me accountable. I'm good with that. And so I put a target on my back with the bigwig of our
Look
region.
at you. Starting trouble. You just started.
I ain't afraid. Bring it. You ain't paid me yet. What am I going to lose? I'll get back to saving money real quick. You know what I mean? Shit. So yeah, I mean, it's been really interesting learning this new business. So if you need some financial help, or you want to set up some stuff with your financial future, you can reach out to me and we'll get you squared away. How about that?
There you go. Man.
Yeah, bro.
Back to similar to dating, similar to finding a job. Like, if I were to do what you do, I don't know where to start. Am I gonna have to call my mom first? Hey, my brother?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So what they do is they say, okay, well, call all your family members first, like, because they're going to be the ones that are going to listen to you, whether they're going to fucking buy or not. They're going to listen to you. They're going to sit there, and they're more than willing to go through the spiel with you, with a trainer, than anybody else. I don't think I've called any of my family members. Just, it is what it is, bro. Like, I don't want to make them sit there and go through all that. Like, I know my brother has insurance with him and his wife, and I know my sister has insurance, and my older sister probably not in a place to get it, so I don't want to make them feel bad and have to squirm and tell me shit about, oh no, I'm gonna, okay. So I reach out to the people that I believe could use it, and I've been fairly on point with that, so it's good. it's good. We'll see. See how on point I can stay with calling out. But I have over 1,000 contacts in my cell phone.
What?
Yeah. But part of it is people like I've worked at Opportune, people like in the IT department, like I have their number, I have the senior vice president's number, I have somebody in their security department, I have their phone numbers, like I have just people's numbers, and not so much like friends of mine, but acquaintances.
People you've interacted with for one reason or another.
Right, and then you have all the people that are on Facebook that have had their fucking numbers are in my phone. You know what I mean? Because Facebook just swipes them over. So I got all of them on there. So if I reach out to you, and you're like, how'd this fool get my phone number? It might have been Facebook, fool. It may have been Facebook. It sold you out. So, it's kind of cool. And then, what's funny is as soon as there was one person that I talked to that I spoke with, and right away, hey, you know what? He says, yeah, let's set up an appointment with me and you. And then here's my brother's phone number, my sister's phone number. I know they don't have any, and they probably it's time for them to buy some. So call them, and then they have cousins too, and other people that they'll give you numbers to too. So call them and let's see where we are. All right, cool. So it's just building on top of relationships and making sure that the people that you reach out to, that you stay on top of it, and it's gonna. I fucking hate to admit this. It's gonna force me to be a better friend. The things that you gotta make an effort. You have to call. That, my wife tells me you gotta call. You gotta go. So, all the things that you were telling me, like when we first started talking, it's gonna force those habits for me, because I think I let go of a lot of that shit and just kind of held on to being a recluse for a long time. But you know what, dude? I'm in a totally different place, and I'm ready to come out and be like, all right, bitches, I'm back. Let's go. Let's get it. So it'll definitely force me out of my my little recluse bubble. And so before we get to birthday shouts and all that, next week I'll drop the dime on my old company.
Oh, wow.
Cool?
Sure. I think people would like to hear that.
Yeah, because we're by next week we'll be far enough away from everything that we should be cool.
They can't pull that last paycheck out of you?
Yeah, I already got it. I just want to make sure they don't that there's not a little dangler that they got to send me cash on. I give them a couple weeks to clear that up, and then if not,
have you ever taken a drive by your office yet?
No. Nah, that's 20 minutes the opposite direction. That's quarter tank of gas. Well, I'm good. I need that to go to fucking Costa Mesa. Shit, I'm good.
So
bro.
Does that mean you've been cooking at home?
Yeah.
No more Uber Eats?
The only time I do is like Sebastian and I will split it. If he wants something like last night I made sopita. You know what that is?
Soup.
Yeah. And I've always told him I do this like fucking Mexican raviolis, homemade Mexican raviolis, or the alphabet soup. So I made that last night. Tonight I have leftovers of that, and then tomorrow I'll make either I'm going to make Beat tacos, or I'm going to make stuffed bell peppers. Yeah, dude, I cook all kinds.
So you're gonna go grocery shopping for yourself now too?
I'm going to at some point. Today was probably like the last day yesterday was the last day that I ordered stuff. But I told Sebastian, Joe, hey, we need to start going to the grocery store. Dude. So I'm going to start talking to people. But I'm going to have to go to an actual grocery store. I'm not going to go there. I can't go to Walmart because what am I talk to the machine when I leave? Hey, what's up, machine? You need some You need some life insurance machine? That's not going to work out for me. So I'll have to actually go to a store and bump into people and ram my cart into the hot chicks. You know what's funny is the last time I had gone shopping, I went to the Albertsons on Country Club. That's an Albertsons, right?
Yes.
So I went to the Albertsons there, and then I heard that Gelson's had really good fruit and that they had really good deals. So I went to Gelson's and that shit. They have some really nice stuff there, but it's very expensive.
Oh yeah.
It's not a
They're more expensive than Jensen's.
yeah.
But you're talking about the Gelson's right here on
Gerald Ford and the Bob Hope, yeah.
Do they still have like a bar? Like not a bar, but like a seating area where you can eat?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, where you can have a sandwich or whatever the meals that they prepare for that day. Yeah.
I've always been wanting to go there to try it out.
It's not bad, dude. Some of their food's pretty good.
Oh, I wouldn't know. I couldn't afford it, but
shit. Well, you can't afford it because you're busy buying, $300 steaks and shit. I get it. After eating like that, you can't afford much, son. Shoot. All right. Any final thoughts? Any shout outs?
Yeah. First of all, my man Phil, my brother-in-law, he has become iron deficient. He's gonna be getting iron infusions just like me.
Oh, so you guys are infusion buddies.
Welcome to the club, Phil. He called me up the other day. He's telling me I gotta get him too now. I'm like, word.
Fuck.
He's like, I hope I don't get constipated. I'm like, I hope you don't either.
Say, come fill my sack. Fuck. All right, Phil. Well, congratulations on being iron deficient.
My nephew AJ, he turned 28 on the 25th last week.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, AJ. James's wife, Jolie, her birthday was the 30th. That's yesterday, right? What's today?
Today is the 2nd.
2 days ago.
2 days ago.
It was her birthday.
Took me a while. You said James, and I was like, who the fuck is James? Oh, James. Happy birthday.
My goddaughter Erica and my cousin Ermin, nephew's mom.
Okay.
They share a birthday tomorrow.
Oh, nice. Happy birthday, ladies.
Their birthday's tomorrow. I just found out that Ermin's taking a day off, so she's getting a little 3-day weekend out of it.
Did you give her shit for taking her birthday off?
No, I just found out right before we were recording.
Oh, okay.
Because apparently, like, her work, they sent her on a fake errand. And when she got back,
they had it already.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it looked cool because somebody recorded it. But she's a crier, She could start crying at the drop of a dime.
Really?
Yeah. So when they were recording her, I didn't see any tears yet. But it seems like when they stopped, it looked like her face was.
It was just getting ready to burst open.
My Steven's oldest sister, Christina, her baby daddy turns 41 on the 6th. Sergio.
Oh, all right.
So happy birthday, Sergio.
Happy birthday.
And one of my homies, been friends since like 17, maybe 16. Andre. Big Dre.
Okay.
Turns 50 Wednesday.
Wow. Dude, we've known that kid since...
Yeah, kid.
Early high school, right? Like...
No, actually, I'm wrong. The first time I ever met him, I already had my first car, my Volkswagen. So I was already out of high school at that point. So he was still in high school. So he was either a junior or a senior when I met him.
You didn't have your white car in high school?
No. I didn't roll like a Lopez. I didn't have that kind of... My family didn't have that kind of money.
Shit, I had to work for my car. Don't give me that shit. Shit, I'll tell you that 10-speed story all over again.
Did I have a car in high school? No, I didn't. No, hell no, I didn't. Now that I think about it, no, I used to have this homie that would pick me up for school every day.
What
he was a ride
what
or
year
die.
did you get your white car?
Probably like 90, maybe 89, maybe.
Yeah, I think you had it the year that we graduated high school.
No, I definitely wasn't in high school. I didn't have a car in high school.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Oh, trust me, I'm sure.
All right.
Because I wouldn't have graduated had I had a car in high school. But yeah, he turns 50 on Wednesday. It's
Happy birthday,
incredible.
Dre.
Happy birthday, Dre. That's it, kid.
That's it. Cool. Hey, well, everybody, thank you so much for listening. Appreciate you checking us out, and we'll talk to you again next week. Love you.